And next up, we are watching the replay of the start from the men's collegiate novice B8. This is event 110. We have 4 boats in this race. Let's take a look at who is here. In lane 1, Orange Coast College. Lane 2, UC Davis. Lane 3, UC Santa Barbara. Lane 4, UC Irvine. Our 4-boat race, you are catching that replay of the start. The 4 boats off, and at a certain point, we will pick up to the live race where they will be partially down the course. UC Irvine looking like they're having a bit of a challenge staying on course there out of the start. I'm sure they will bring themselves back in, but it can often be tough early out of the gates. Aaron, what is it like coming out of the gates, especially here at the Crew Classic at this time of the day when you know that conditions are starting to change, starting to pick up a little bit?
I've heard on coxswains meetings, I've heard from other coxswains is that this course has different optical illusions. And so the main thing is going out of the block that you have the proper point and you have the straight, proper shot down the course. Usually the start's a little bit more protected, but it's preparing as you get to that Ingram Street Bridge is where the winds will hit you from the cross and really change there. But as we look at this race, there's quite a bit of separation between all the crews, between Orange Coast College rowing out of lane 1 with quite a bit of open water over UC Davis in lane 2.
And now we're up and live with these crews, so you are catching up with about the middle of the race here. We've moved outside of the early stages to catch up with how these boats are actually stacking up. Orange Coast College, as Aaron mentioned, quite clearly out front here, establishing a pretty dominant lead at this point in time over the other 3 boats. And it's looking like our lanes are currently determining our order. So lane 2, UC Davis in second place. Lane 3, UC Santa Barbara. And then lane 4, UC Irvine, our 1, 2, 3, 4 positions. Orange Coast College looking very smooth there as they just drop those blades right into the water, looking calm and confident in this race. There's that profile view, and you can check that catch timing on those blades. Often a good signature of a crew is to watch what happens right as those blades get to the catch position, whether those blades hang in the air for just a split second or whether those blades disappear into the water almost unnoticed. That slight difference can be the difference between a crew that's able to put power on the oars and a crew that hangs and feels like they are disconnected from that horsepower of the bodies.
Yeah, definitely looking at that Orange Coast crew, really nice looking crew. If you look at those catches going in, you get that backsplash or that V splash coming off. So they're moving through the water really cleanly and just stroke by stroke, that's letting them find that open water over the rest of the field. Looking into the second place spot, it's UC Davis. Davis located about 20 miles south of Sacramento, California, in the Northern California region. They're sitting here second place. And then as the camera angle scrolls back, we're now looking at UC Santa Barbara. Then at UC Irvine. This is the men's collegiate novice B8.
Now, all 4 of these boats came from the heat yesterday. So the heats yesterday used to determine the lane assignments, excuse me, in this race. So our lane assignments came from yesterday's heat. So these crews have seen each other before. They raced just yesterday, got a chance to look at what other crews had, and this is their moment to test their real speed. What did they have in the tanks? Did anybody hold anything back yesterday for today's race so that they could just leave it all on the course today? Orange Coast College looking like they still have a commanding lead here.
Yeah, I mean, Orange Coast College is clearly here to make a statement in this men's collegiate novice B8. Even though they have a good amount of open water, they're really going for time, getting all the open water that they can, going for time almost here. And they're all out in front, all by themselves, with the big margin over the rest of the field.
And they're still holding a 35-36 on that rate, so they are not letting up. They're not just settling down, downshifting and coasting into the finish. They are clearly here to get a time trial. I mean, when you have a race like this, you've got enough open water. There's nobody there to race. This becomes a time trial. It's you against you. How fast can you go on this course? If nothing else, it gives you a benchmark for when you come back next year, or at least a benchmark that you can use against your training to see how your team performs on actual race day.
Well, speaking of that benchmark, even though all races are different, conditions change, but they could also be going for trying to compare their time and their performance to their A boat that just raced in the previous race there. So it's really showing strong performance from that Orange Coast College program overall and the dominance that they have this year.
And here we see Orange Coast College coming into their finish, still with their commanding lead, holding on in lane one, pushing themselves out further and further, stroke by stroke, ahead of UC Davis in lane two, lane three, UC Santa Barbara in third, lane four, UC Irvine in fourth. Here comes Orange Coast College, their last meters. Blades dropping in. They want to get the fastest time possible. And there we go. Orange Coast College across the line, followed by UC Davis now. Out there in 3 and 4, UCSB and UCI.